too faded to play. Now in the pixels and the lights, feel the thrill of the fights. The game's so intense, I need some defense. A victory allowed, so press start now.
Hello and welcome to the Too Faded to Play podcast, where we drink too much and talk about video games. I'm one of the hosts, Eggs, and I'm here alongside my buddy LSD.
What's going on, everybody?
How you been?
A little busy. Starting a new job. So, you know, when you start a new job, you got to learn the ropes and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, on the plus side, the money right.
That's good.
Yeah, the money right. So, I can't really complain about that. Other than that, had some kind of exciting thing going on with my family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my little niece, she's viral right now.
She is. I heard about her all week. like you sent me the thing Sunday, and I was like, oh, I'm glad she's okay, you know. And then like throughout the rest of the week, I was hearing stories about her. So I'll let you say what it was.
So if you haven't heard, by the time this come out, it's gonna be old news. But my little niece, 8-year-old girl, took her mom's car and went to joyride to Target. I think when I first heard about it, you know, I was worried. But then it's like, no, she's fine. You know, she's back home. So I'm sitting there like, okay. I was like, well, where's this Target at? And I had to sit and think about it. Like, man, that Target's pretty far. And I was like, did she do any damage? She said, all she hit was a mailbox. A mailbox? Yeah. That's like a 20-mile ride.
Yeah. I couldn't have done that shit when I was 8.
Yeah.
I couldn't have seen over the steering wheel when I was 8, but...
I haven't seen her in probably like a year, so I can't remember how tall she is. But I was low-key impressed.
I'm honestly, it is impressive.
I think the part that really kind of blew me was when they said that the police let her finish her Frappuccino.
Yeah.
I was like, no way she bought a Frappuccino.
That made me laugh a lot. They found her at the Starbucks in the Target, and they let her finish her Frappuccino.
And typical woman. She likes Starbucks and Target. And I was like, oh, yeah, that kid's going places. Man, what about you? What you been up to?
Just working. A lot of overtime. It's been busy.
Hey, get it while you can.
Oh yeah, no, I'm using it while I can.
Oh yeah, get it while you can. When they cut it dry, you gonna be like, God damn it.
So let's go ahead and get into these drinks, and then there's been some gaming news recently.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about. It'll date the episode, but there's peach, or what's that one?
This one's mango. So we got the Simply Spiked drinks.
Yes.
I have the mango one.
And I've got the peach one.
So,
unless you would rather have the peach, because I don't care either way.
Hey, it don't matter to me.
Okay.
Don't hurt my feelings.
All right.
5% alcohol.
Yeah. Let's see how it is.
All right, let's go.
Simply Spiked.
That's actually really fucking good. It's
really good, yeah. It's like a seltzer, but the seltzer's mixed in fruit juice.
Yeah, this is actually really good. I can get drunk off of these.
I could drink these, yeah.
Because you'll just keep drinking them, and then next thing you know, you stand up and just be hammered.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the closest way I can describe it, though, is it's like someone took a glass, filled it halfway up with some kind of fruit juice, and then filled the rest with a seltzer. And that's just kind of what it tastes like.
It's actually really good.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, because Simply makes the best juice, I think, personally.
Yeah, theirs is really good.
Yeah. Well, shit, we ain't gonna hold y'all. We here to talk about some video games.
There's been a lot of stuff that's happened recently in video gaming.
Oh, yeah. And so
it like I said, it's going to date this episode because it's about a week old news at this point. So when this episode comes out, even a month further from now, it'll be really old news. But
yeah.
The biggest one, I think, and you and I kind of jumped in on the situation when it happened, was Sony released a game that utterly failed called Concord.
Yes, sir.
It failed so bad the game was out for 2 weeks, and then they pulled it off of store shelves and shut down all of the servers. You cannot buy the game anymore. You cannot download the game anymore. It's just gone. And when it first started happening, people were talking about it because it was like, oh, it's a big failure from Sony, and they lost like $150 million on the game.
You're right.
As of like yesterday, real numbers have come out. They lost more like 400 million.
That much?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which is insane.
That is insane.
But yeah, no, like the moment that I heard they were pulling the game off of store shelves, I sent you a message and I was like, hey, get your eyes out for this game, because it sold like 25,000 physical copies worldwide. So there's not a whole lot of copies out there.
Right. When you told me about it, I was kind of like, man, this is my last like $40 I have, and I'm like, I should get it or should I just wait? And I was like, nah, let me just go ahead and just get it because it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And which is good for me and you because I just checked it and they're like $80 right now.
Yeah.
That's just
it's doubled.
Yeah. So it's gonna jump in a few years.
I think it's going to be one of those things that down the line, there's going to be people out there who want to collect the whole PlayStation 5, thing, and they're going to look for these rarer games.
Yeah.
And even though you can't play the game at all, you can put the disc in, and it's just not going to let you play the game because they shut it all down.
Okay.
It's still the fact that it was released as a physical disc that collectors are going to want to have it on their shelves.
Yeah.
And that's when the money's going to come in. When those people are looking for the games.
Well, we might have to wait 10 years, but
yeah,
it's going to be a valuable game. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there was the announcement of the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Oh my God.
For $700, or if you want a disc tray, if you want a disc drive so you can play physical games, $780.
So basically $800.
$800.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to skip over that one.
Me too, but it makes sense now that we know Concord cost $400 million. They're trying to get their money back.
Right, they trying to, hey, let's see if we can have the same kind of wave they had before. No, not for $800.
No. I heard about the PS5 Pro coming, I expected like $600 because it's going to be more than the standard console.
Right, which is understandable. $600, that's understandable. You're getting more speed, probably more RAM, more memory, stuff like that. Fine.
You're paying a little bit of a bump in price over the normal $500 for a little bit better version of that system.
Right,
Instead, you're paying $200 or $280 over what the base system is.
Simply.
And it's a better system. It's faster and everything, but is it $300 more faster?
No, at that point, when you're hitting the 800 mark for a console, just go straight to PC.
Build a PC. Yeah, $800 for a PC.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you spend an extra, if you want to hold on to that a little bit longer and spend another $300, get it a little bit over $1,000, you can build a PC that's as fast as the PS5.
Right.
So you might as well just do that.
Yeah, at that point. And I think we're getting to the age where consoles are about to go away.
Yeah. I think we might have one more generation of actual consoles.
Yeah.
And then it's going to turn into basically everybody's going to have Netflix, but it's Sony's version of Netflix where you just play games off of a box. Microsoft's already trying to do that with Xbox.
Right. All they doing just, hey, your smart TV has this app in it. You pay this much money a month to have access to all these catalog in the cloud games. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what's going to be like. You just buy a controller, you know. It's going to make me sad.
Yeah.
It really is. And the price of the games are just going to skyrocket.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
It makes me sad, man.
On the good side of Sony, though.
It's a good side.
They released a fantastic game called Astrobot. and I played the shit out of that game.
You did show me that. I'm like, what, you 100% at this game?
Yeah, 100% platinum trophy.
Wow.
Like,
wow. That's impressive.
it's not the longest game in the world, but it's a very simple game. It's similar to like a 3D Mario game where it's just kind of like you can play it a little bit and then have your fun. And that's kind of why I was able to play so much of it.
Right.
It's because I was working overtime, a lot of overtime, and I'd get home and I had like, I got to go to bed in like an hour and a half. I'd sit there and I'd play a level or two, and then go to bed. And it worked fine. There's no big story trying to hold. There's like, I love my story games.
Right.
But there's times you'll sit there for an hour and a half and just watch story.
Oh, that's the game we're going to talk about.
We'll be talking about it. Yeah.
I did play a little game. I played Mafia. I never played it before, and I thought it was fucking phenomenal. I got hooked immediately. I was like, oh, okay. I can see myself playing this. And I dove into, I think I spent a day just playing it. And like, I haven't played it in about a week because I started this new job. But I'm going to get back into it once I get my rhythm right and figure out, my hours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's all.
Yes, I've played Mafia 2. I never played the first one or the third one, but I did play 2, and I remember enjoying it quite a bit.
Cars are slow as fuck.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what do you expect for like the 30s or 20s or whatever
Yeah.
era that is? I think it's the 30s.
it's something like that. Well, let's go ahead, since you kind of already alluded to it, get
Yes.
to our cartridge club.
Yes.
Because I'm curious what you kind of thought about this game. Sorry, the dog's barking.
Yeah. Something got her dander up. So the game we played was it Persona?
Persona 5.
Persona 5. You want me to just go in?
Yeah, just go in, because as far as like I go, you already know I like this game. Like it's straight up my alley. It's a long, story-heavy, turn-based RPG, which I know goes against a lot of the things you like in video games. So I'm just curious.
Okay. Love the music.
Fantastic soundtrack.
Soundtrack is probably one of the best soundtracks I've heard outside of Nier Automata. Like, this is one of the greatest soundtracks of a video game that I've ever heard. Art, love the art. The art of the game, the graphically great, it's sharp, it's crisp. Just the angles look good. Everything looks good. There was times where I forgot I was playing a video game because it switched from video game to anime. And the story, you be watching the damn little side movie for like 10 minutes. And I'm just sitting there like with the controller in my hand, and I'm falling into the game, watching the game, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm playing a game. This is not anime, but I'm following the storyline. But then the talking. It's a lot of fucking talking.
There's a lot of it.
Like, dude, the amount of talking in this game is just back and forth. You got the guy, hey, come down here, close up my shop, make sure you flip this sign. Then you do like small little actions for like a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes. And then it just goes back into this long dialogue of talking. And it's a lot of fucking talking. Oh my God. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I played the game. I gave it a solid week. Like, I was playing it every day. I fucking fell asleep. Because they was talking so long. I fell asleep and I woke up with the controller in my hand and they still fucking talking. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. But when I did finally play the game, where there's parts where you was going through like that little dungeon area and you was fighting those knights and stuff like that, enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Even the turn-based part, I enjoyed the fighting part. But it was so much fucking talking.
Yes.
It just killed me. I was like, I can't even fucking play this shit no more. I took it out because I just couldn't get past all that fucking talking. That's a lot.
It is definitely a lot of talking, and I'm pretty sure I kept it in the episode when I pulled out like, oh, this is the game we're playing, and I just started laughing, and I was just like, oh, you're gonna hate this.
Okami doesn't have that fucking much talking.
Okami has the opening section of the game where it's like 45 minutes of just nonstop talking, and then once you're in the game, you're in the game.
Dude,
this game has a lot of talking,
and then there are some parts where you had to leave you're staying above this restaurant, and you had to go to school. Mm-hmm. So when you're walking to school, there's like no direction. Mm-hmm. Like you actually have to read the physical signs.
Yeah.
Because they're saying like, oh, you got to get to the school. I'm like, where you go? So I'm looking like, okay, you got to go down to the subway. Then you got to follow. It says like the school on the board. You actually physically looking at the signs to figure out which direction you got to go. When you go in the wrong direction, it's like, oh, you can't go over there yet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Love the art of the game, the anime, the soundtrack, great. Mm-hmm. It was just a little bit too much talking for me.
Yeah, yeah. And I knew it would be that way. If
they cut 50% of that, I could tolerate it. Mm-hmm. I could play the game. But it bored me to death because it was just way too much talking.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
And I fell asleep at least 3 times. Like, literally.
As far as the game itself goes, in my opinion, I agree with the phenomenal soundtrack. It's one of the best. Mm-hmm. It's like a weird infusion of jazz and techno-y touches, and like it's fantastic soundtrack. If anybody's listening and they even don't intend on playing the game, I would suggest just go on YouTube and look up the soundtrack. It's amazing. Yeah. As far as turn-based RPGs go, I think it's one of the best in like its actual battles because it's quick, it's snappy. You're not navigating a shitload of menus unless you're trying to like get an item. You get to the character, it shows the character, and then every different face button on the controller does something different. So once you kind of memorize like, oh, triangle shoots through the gun, circle uses magic, square just, automatically attacks, you get this really quick pace of just like character hit, and it just like bam, 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 and you're just flying through the battles as far as turn-based goes.
Right.
And visually, the aesthetics of the game is really good too. Every single menu is stylized. Every single button you press has some kind of like weird pop and noise that follows the style of the game. And
right.
It's a great looking game, but there's a lot of talking. I don't mind that. As you know, I play a lot of games like that.
Yeah.
But
it was just a bit much. Like, it wasn't even broken up well. This is my personal opinion. It wasn't broken up well. It was like 30 minutes of talking, 10 minutes of gameplay. 30 minutes of talking, 5 minutes of gameplay. Mm-hmm. Like, give me an hour of gameplay. Mm-hmm. So, I could run around more instead of giving me like these long, drawn out stories that has fucking, I don't even know where it was going. Like, but like if you watch anime, a lot of times before we get to the big fight, they got to do a whole fucking backstory.
Yeah.
That's why all Dragon Ball Z episodes take 30 episodes before you get to the big fucking fight because he got to explain his backstory. Fucking kick his ass.
Yeah.
Like,
and this game definitely does that. There's like 8 different villains that you go through. And yeah, it does that because it introduces you to a new character, and then it's like, oh, this guy seems okay, and then 20 minutes later, after 20 minutes of dialogue, it's like, oh, maybe there's something a little weird about him, and then you start investigating the character and slowly be like, oh, this guy's actually a piece of shit, and he hits on children. Yeah.
It's
like,
man, it was just such a wild game. I'll probably never play it again. Mm-hmm. So on my list, it's probably going to be super low.
Yeah.
Just playability aspect of it. Yeah. But if we ranking it towards like graphically, musically, it's high. Mm-hmm. It's up there. It's probably number 1.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think rate it as an overall game that as you feel it is,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for me. It's definitely not for me. But if you like games that have a lot of dialogue, you will get this with this game. Mm-hmm. I don't. Like, I want to play the fucking game.
Yeah.
So.
Didn't even get to the beach episode.
I couldn't. I fucking fell asleep.
It takes about 30 hours to get there.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. I fell asleep. Like, I woke up, I'm like, the fuck? Mm-hmm. And it was still going. I'm like, ain't no fucking way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, you already know where mine is. Where is it at on yours? So,
in between Super Mario Wonder and Skyrim.
that's fucking high.
Yep. I really like the game.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
Man, very last.
Yeah.
So you'd rather play Hogs of War again than Persona?
At least Hogs of War I played and the shit was low-key funny.
You'd rather play Pokemon than Persona?
Pokemon had more gameplay.
Yeah, that's true.
Even Child of Light had more gameplay.
Yeah, but even I was falling asleep during the turn-based combat. I'm trying to like...
Oh my god, that was just so bad.
I think some of the other games in the Persona series do the balance a little better. Like Persona 3, for example. Once you do your whole school thing still, but after you finish school, the game, even in Persona 5, it kind of gives you the option of like, do you want to talk to this person, this person, this person? Persona 3 allows you to each night go into the dungeons of your own volition. It's not like a story reason you're going into the dungeons. So you can kind of do like, you've got your school day section where you're talking to people and stuff like that. And then once that's done, you can be in the dungeon forever, however long you survive. Once you die, you get kicked out and it goes to the next day, but for however long you could stay in. And it's a better balance in gameplay to talking. But
how many of these games you own?
Persona games?
Yeah.
Do you want to play another Persona game? Because I have one for the Vita.
No. I'll fall asleep on the plane and miss my flight. No. Anyway.
There's only the 5 of them. The Persona 5 is the newest one. Anyways, let's go ahead and read off the list here.
Okay.
On Eggs' side, we've got Nier Automata, Sphinx, Ys, the Ark of Nepishtim, Skyrim, Persona 5, Super Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2, Okami, Bayonetta, Forspoken, Returnal, Eiyuden Chronicles, Jet Set Radio, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Cathedral, Godfall, King of Route 66, Child of Light, Wulong, and Hogs of War. On LSD's side, we have Returnal, Skyrim, Super Mario Wonder, Nier Automata, Forspoken, Bayonetta, Spider-Man 2, Sphinx, Ys, the Ark of Nepishtim, Godfall, Okami, Eiyuden Chronicles, Cathedral, Jet Set Radio, King of Route 66, Wulong, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Child of Light, Hogs of War, and then Persona 5.
Yeah, boy.
I think that's the biggest like difference in opinion you and I have had.
Yeah, because you are more towards the top. Mm-hmm. Mine's at the bottom. If there was more gameplay in it, I probably would have liked it more. Because when I actually played the game, I liked it. Mm-hmm. The problem was the 30 to 45 minutes of talking just like, dude, like, come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, our next game.
One. Hey. It's 86.
All right, so we will be playing Cat House Blues for the Atari 2600.
Yeah, man, Atari 2600. This new roll of the dice thing that we've been doing is going to bring some interesting games.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this game.
Me neither. I wonder how it's going to play.
It's probably about 5 minutes worth of gameplay.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, most Atari games are not worth playing.
Yeah.
There's some good ones, but yeah.
I think my favorite Atari game was Pole Position.
Yeah.
I love Pole Position.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
I always liked, was it Yar's Revenge?
I don't think I ever played that one.
Oh, it's fun. It's kind of a little shoot 'em up kind of game.
All right. So that's what we plan on the next episode of Too Fade to Play. But we're going to get into our liquor. Well, can I even call it liquor?
It's different than what we've normally done.
So today we are going to eat our liquor. And
Drop my spoon.
we need one utensil. Spoon.
Spoon.
Yes, sir. And what do we got here? We are going to be eating Proof hard ice cream.
New York cheesecake martini flavored.
Yeah. They had like 6 flavors. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'll just pick this one because the other ones was like kind of like raspberry and some other stuff, pina colada. But these are, how much is this?
5%.
5% alcohol right in front of my damn face. This bitch is loaded with calories.
Oh, yeah.
This whole container is 800 calories.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently there's 5 servings in this container.
Well, we about to see what they do.
Now, is that 5% per serving?
I don't know. That shit smell good.
Because is it like a thing where it's like 5 beers, or is it? I don't know.
I don't know either. But we about to find out. Check it out. That is ice cream, y'all.
That it is.
Good thing these spoons was heated up a little bit. That's good. You can taste the alcohol.
Yeah, you can.
But it's smooth. It's creamy as fuck. Mm-hmm. That is good.
It's good. It's not my favorite ice cream I've ever had. But as an alcoholic ice cream, it's good.
I could eat this in one sitting.
I could too.
Wow, that's good. Wow. And this kind of runs hand in hand on what our topic is. Because it's all about the mods, baby. Mm-hmm. So when you get to the point where you're modding liquor and ice cream, Chico, baby.
We're going to be able to talk. I think we're just going to be sitting here eating this like we were with the fruit that one time. Where we just stopped talking at one point and just started eating fruit.
Hey, man, probably so. But, shit, modding been around for a minute. Mm-hmm. And I kind of got introduced into it probably early 2000s. A buddy of mine had a modded Xbox. He had the original Xbox. Mm-hmm. That thing had every game in it. Every single game.
Damn.
Like, I remember offering him $500 for it.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I'll give you $500 for this bitch right now. He would not sell it to me. Yeah, my homeboy Rob, man, I was like, hey, man, let me get this from you, man. Because he wouldn't tell me who did it for him. Mm-hmm. One of his partners did it. And I was like, man, I'll give you $500 cash right now. He wouldn't do it.
Damn.
Which actually kind of worked out because it ended up breaking. But that bitch had everything on it. Mm-hmm. If I was to put a number on it, probably had 20,000 games on it at the time.
No, I believe it.
Yeah. But my other boy, he had 360. My other boy had 360. And he just could play burnt games. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like he'd go to his buddies and he'll burn them a game. Mm-hmm. I think like $5 a game or something. And yeah, man, he was playing all these burnt video games and they just like the game, you know?
Yeah.
It was really cool. I was wondering how he did it. Mm-hmm. But this is kind of like YouTube wasn't around then, so it's like you kind of had to know where you had to get into like these weird forums where you had to like really dig to find that information. But now you pretty much mod anything you want with with YouTube.
Yeah, you just go on YouTube and be like, type in your system name and type in mod, and then they're just like, here's your step-by-step guide on how to do it. Some of them are really difficult.
Yeah.
Some of them are really easy.
Yeah.
The Vita, you and I recently modded it.
Yeah.
In that soft modded, and it was quick.
Yeah, very quick. I actually did my original Xbox to play one certain game. And I mean, it works. It modded. It's worked,
Yeah.
You had to get a certain game to mod it. What are those games called? What are they called? Where they hold like a certain software that you have to get to mod.
Yeah, I don't know the exact. I don't know what people call them necessarily, but it's usually some kind of game that allows you to upload something off of a USB drive or external some stuff for the game, and it'll allow you to like, for example, on the Wii, you can use one of the Super Smash Bros. Games that has a course thing in it, so you can upload your own custom courses. You can use that on the Wii, and that's how you mod the Wii. It puts in custom software that it executes through the game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Man, what set this motherfucking ice cream off? If this bitch had bits of cheesecake and graham cracker crust in it. Oh.
It'd be 2,000 calories per container.
My back growing. Oh man, it's good though. Got a little burn to it though.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell there's alcohol in it.
I'm not mad at it. But back to the modding thing. But there's so much things that you can mod. Modded controllers, modded custom handhelds. There's so much things that you can do with just the modding game. Like, it's insane. And I guess one of the bigger arguments are, if you mod your system, is it illegal to have those games? So, it's kind of like a toss-up,
Technically, yes. But if it's like, the way to work around it, I guess, is you can say like, you're just backing up the games you already own. It's a backup file for the game. So like, I modded my PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And every single PlayStation 2 game that I have, I installed it into a hard drive on the PlayStation 2. And what I can do with that is I can just turn on my PlayStation 2. It gives me the whole list of every game I have. I just hit the X button and it plays that game. I can also take my save files from my PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1 and transfer them to my computer, and I can run those save files on an emulator.
That's dope, man.
And then I can reverse the process, play a game on my computer with an emulator, pull that save file off, put it back on my PlayStation, and play those there. And some of the modding is like definitely a bit weird with getting your hands on games. Like, I know one of the big popular ones to do for the GameCube right now is fully removing the disk drive and just putting an SD card inside where the disk drive sits and just loading that thing up on with every single GameCube game.
Yeah, I've actually seen that done with a Dreamcast and a GameCube. That, you just take the optical drive out and it's just an SD drive, and you just load it up with every game that you got, or every game that you can get. And like me and you, like, we like to have the physical copy, but some of them games are expensive.
Oh yeah.
Like, you got to jump deep into the pool.
Oh yeah.
To buy some of these games, and it's like, I want to play the game. I do want to have it, but at the same time, I don't want to spend that type of money for one game. That's a lot, Unless if I come up on it, that's something else.
Yeah.
But just to go out there and pay for it is just crazy.
The way I kind of morally align myself with it is, if the game publisher has made an effort to make it easy to get the game, currently, then you should probably buy it from them that way.
Yeah.
But if they haven't given you an easy method for getting the game, you're not stealing money from them. You're giving money to people who want to charge $500 for an old game.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, if there's like, on the Wii U specifically, there was a game called The Devil's Third, and that game goes for like $600 now. Mm-hmm. The part that annoys me the most is I had that game in my hand one time at GameStop because it's one of the worst games ever made. Mm. And they pulled it off the store shelves in like 2 or 3 weeks. I had it in my hand and I was looking at it and I was like, I've heard how bad this game is and I really want to play it because of that. But it's such a bad game, I'm just going to wait for it to go on sale. Yeah. And then it just never went on sale. They just ripped it from the shelves. So there's only a few copies out there and it's now like $600.
That's wild.
There's no easy way to get that game.
That's wild.
You cannot go on Nintendo and get it. You can't go to the publisher's website and get it on like Steam or something.
Right.
So why would I pay $600 to somebody? That's not stealing money from the publisher or Nintendo or anything. That's me just not spending $600 on a piece of plastic.
My thing is, I don't think it's stealing if you're buying it for personal use.
Yeah.
I think it's stealing when you're buying it and then you're selling it to make money.
Yeah.
Like bootlegging it. Mm-hmm. That's when I think you're crossing the line right there. But when you download it to have it for your personal system that you're going to play, that's different. So is it piracy? Probably. But at the same time, if I want to play it and I can't get it, I mean, I'm not selling it to nobody. That's something else.
I think there was some study done a while back that I heard about that was like the amount of people who pirate games were not going to buy the game in the first place. So the company didn't actually lose money because they only played the game because they were able to get it for free pirating it.
Right.
They were never going to go buy the game. So it's like,
right.
Yeah, as long as you're not distributing it, it's whatever.
But there are some cool mods that I found. Now, modding ain't just software type thing. Like you can mod the hardware.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some custom cases really done well. There's a girl on YouTube that I follow where she makes all these custom PCs and custom dioramas and stuff, and she does make custom Xboxes, well, not Xboxes per se, but like dioramas of Xboxes, PlayStations and stuff like that. Her name is her page is Nerd Forge. Check it out. Fantastic work. Like I think she's from Norway, I want to say. I might be wrong. I'm gonna say you from Norway, but your shit dope. Like hands down, probably some of the greatest work I've seen. And all she doing is taking just like regular household stuff and kind of just sticking it onto the PlayStation, and she'll paint it and it'll look like some type of warehouse or something. It's really dope.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Yeah. She makes like castles and all types of stuff. She's awesome. Like you can go into a deep dive on her YouTube page. Check it out, Nerd Forge.
There's also the modding scene that I find really interesting. I would never take part in because I'm not skilled enough to do this, but it always fascinates me every time there's a breakthrough in it. Is the mini system modding scene. And I think the Wii is the one that they use it the most, but there's this group of people that will take a console like the Wii and they will trace every line, every wire, every bit of circuitry on that board, and they will figure out what can I get rid of, and they will just start cutting the motherboard down and trimming it down. And they will take a Wii, which everybody's seen a Wii, I'm sure. It's sizable, and they'll shrink the motherboard down to be smaller than your iPhone. And then they'll put a screen on that and make a portable Wii that's fully a functioning Wii.
You know what? I've seen that. I've seen it with the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
That shit was dope.
They do it with a lot of systems, but it's just insane to me that people can go in and just start ripping up a motherboard and just cutting it to pieces and be like, I need this little chunk out of this corner. I need this chunk out of this corner.
Yeah.
And then they'll just make it this tiny little box.
Yeah, I've seen that with the Dreamcast and I think a GameCube. Mm-hmm. They took a Dreamcast, made it portable. Mm-hmm. Put probably like a 7-8 inch screen on it. Mm-hmm. And it still had the UNC
something like that. The memory card.
The memory card for the Dreamcast and the thing. I thought that was so dope. Mm-hmm. It's like $500 though.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. But that bitch loaded though with every Dreamcast game. So it's like you got a handheld Dreamcast in your hand and it has every Dreamcast game in it. Mm-hmm. That's worth the $5.
About 3 games out of the Dreamcast library will total $500. So.
Oh. What? Shit. Don't even give me. I own a Dreamcast and I think I have 4 games for it. Mm-hmm. And each one of them bitches worth like $80.
Yeah.
And that fucking Sonic on there, that's what, a couple $100.
Yeah, no, Sega systems, I hate it so much because Sega systems the games are way too expensive. Way too much. And that's why I haven't gotten into Sega collecting yet, just because of that one fact. If I could go buy some pretty okay games for like $20 on the Sega systems, I'd be fine with that. But if you want any game worth playing even the slightest amount on any of the systems, Master System, any of that, oh yeah, handheld GameCube.
Yeah.
But if you want any Sega game worth playing on any of their systems, you're like starting at $80.
Oh yeah. Only games that don't hold a value on Sega are sports games. Mm-hmm. That's it. You can go to any game store in America and you'll find NHL, NFL, NBA, whatever. That bitch like $5. Mm-hmm. You know, you trying to get into like some of the other games like Shinobi and all this other stuff. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, $80 off top.
$100, $120. Like it just.
Like I bought Strider for my Genesis. Mm-hmm. Like I love the game. I always loved that game. That bitch was like $60. Mm-hmm. Granted, it did have the case in the book with it, so I don't mind spending a little bit more for the case, the book. That's complete to me.
Yeah.
You know.
I think anything under $60 and under, even as an old game that's held its value, I think that's a reasonable cost because you're not paying more than a new game. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you want this cool old game or do you want to buy a new game?
Right.
And at that point, it's more of just like where's your preference on these two games? But once you're looking at this cool old game is $120, that's when you start being like, ugh, I don't think.
Another thing about modding is, you know, we're going into the HDMI era. Mm-hmm. So converting your old equipment to run HDMI, that's the thing now.
Yeah.
You can do that. All that stuff is available on Amazon, wherever. Mm-hmm. Just turning older consoles that have wireless controllers, mm-hmm. or you could just put the the SD cards into them, and they'll just have the entire catalog. You don't even have to have a catalog like me and Eggs got. Mm-hmm. You can have everything on the SD card, you know, pretty much.
And some of the systems you don't even have to mod, like the cartridge-based systems, Super Nintendo, the N64 and stuff like that.
Yeah. You
can buy a cartridge, and then you just put an SD card into that cartridge, and you put it in the cartridge slot, and the reader will just be like, oh, this is all the games. And you just select your game.
What they call it?
EverDrive.
EverDrive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can buy EverDrive and have every game that is for that particular system in it. Mm-hmm. They're a little pricey.
Yeah, they get expensive, but it's every single game for that system. Game,
you know. I mean, what $100 maybe?
Yeah, there's something around there. Last I saw, at least, they might be a little more now. That
so for the sake of argument, let's say $200, 1,000 games.
That's worth it.
You can go out and source everything and spend $50,000. Mm-hmm. Because some of these games, like what's that? Was it World Events or whatever for the Nintendo? That bitch 50 grand.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
All day. Which is wild to me. My ice cream turned into soup. I'm not eating it fast.
Yes, and mine's starting to melt around all the edges.
It's good though.
It is really good.
I ain't got a buzz yet, but pretty fucking good.
It's really good. Yeah, no, I'm not. I haven't. It hasn't gotten to me any kind of like buzzed or drunk or anything like that, but it tastes good.
Yeah, it is great. What was some of the other things that I saw that I thought was kind of cool? Taking say for instance, taking like a Nintendo 64, you're taking it out of that housing and you're putting it into something else. I've seen people will take like old stuff, put a video games console into it, turn it into the video game. It just looks a little bit cooler. 3D printing. People 3D print stuff to put around the housing to make it looks different. Make it look different. You know.
I think one of the other cool things I've seen, and this is kind of the opposite of the mini system thing I was talking about, where people are taking big systems, cutting them down, making them portable. There's people out there, you can buy what's called a consolizer kit. People make them for like the original Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advanced. And it's this kit that you take apart your Game Boy.
I spoke too soon.
Oh, you feeling it now?
Yeah, I got kind of warm right. I stopped eating it. It's just like, oh. Okay.
I guess it's cool, so it's keeping you cool, and then you stop and you're like, oh, wait, there it is.
There you go.
But you can buy like the consolizer kit, and you take the motherboard and stuff out of your Game Boy. You put it into this new 3D printed setup thing with all the wires. You have to do a bunch of soldering and everything, but basically it adds an HDMI port to your Game Boy, and you just plug in your little cartridge, and it's connected to your TV, and you play it. And I think those are really cool too, making a portable only system basically a miniature console.
I like the ones where they take like a console and get like a briefcase. They'll put a monitor in it. They put the console in it. They make it look like a regular briefcase, and then they pull it out and they flip it open, and it's like an entirely functional system. You know, with your TV and everything, and you can take it anywhere. That's another portable thing that I like. Also, I like they're doing the mods where you can get like a PlayStation controller, and you can get like your phone or whatever, and you can attach your phone to it, and you can play all the games. This is basically like a handheld, but you just put your phone directly on it.
There's a lot of really cool stuff people have done with modding, and we didn't even really get into the controllers.
Oh,
because there's stuff like people will take like the GameCube controllers, because Super Smash Bros. Is a huge scene, and people will build custom controllers to have like specific amounts of pressure they have to put on certain buttons, or they'll change the area where the analog stick moves around. They'll notch out things even harder so that they can purposely hit specific directions on the analog stick, and like people get crazy with it. You're right. When you stop, this does warm. You do warm up when you stop eating it.
I'm like, okay, there you go.
There it is. There's and I've seen it a lot. It like TikTok and stuff like that, where people do this, and I more want to put it out there as a do not do this, but people sell stuff that's like a base that you can put your PlayStation 4 or 5 in, and it has like these fans attached to it, and it can like blow and pull air out. A lot of times those are not set up right, and it actually blows air into the exhaust of your PlayStation. Oh, no. And it'll cause things to overheat.
No, we don't need that.
Yeah, it's like it's just someone trying to make quick buck off of some cheap Amazon or cheap Chinese mass-produced thing. It's super cheap to be made, and then they charge you like $30 to make your system better or whatever. Right.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. A lot of scams going on. You got to be careful with that. But shit, we'll have to cut this one short. Got to go pick up my boy. Yeah. Boy got a job, so I got to go pick him up from work.
It's one step closer to getting him out of the house, and you get in a gaming room.
I'm so close. But yo, hey man, if y'all like what y'all see, man, hit that subscribe button at toofadetoplay.com. Not my bad. Hit that subscribe button at toofadetoplay at YouTube. We also follow us on Instagram and is that
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok. Follow us at toofadetoplay. Leave a comment. You know, any games you want us to play, anything you want us to change, you know, leave a message, man. We'll respond. So.
If you ever modded one of your own systems, let us know. I know I have a friend who's modded his Switch multiple times, and Nintendo found out about it and bricked him. So he's on his third Switch. So it's like, you gotta be careful where you mod stuff sometimes, but...
Yeah, that's true, too.
Yeah.
Man. You gotta be real careful. But yo, man, I'm your boy LSD.
Now, I'm Eggs.
Peace.
See ya.